Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the fundamental of advertising, where we have started to understand advertising. We have seen the objectives, five aims of advertising, and we actually discussed different areas of advertising and how advertising create a difference and helps the product to present its demand in the market and helps also help a product to be sold in the market. There are various perspectives like highlighting the USPs, the features of the product, creating a competitive advantage for that product in the market. There are different market conditions that we also discussed. If it's a monopoly, if the business has a monopoly in the market, or it has a oligopoly business structure, or it has a free exit and free entry for the competitors. So now we will move on to the next stage and try to understand the types of advertising. So we will understand, we will try to categorize advertisement based on the different types of advertisement, some fundamental categories rather. Now, these fundamental categories are the broader categories. So, if we actually have to look down on the advertisements, we can actually segregate the advertisements into minor categories. But what we are going to do is we are going to categorize advertisement into some major and broad categories. So, let us start with the understanding of types of advertisement. Advertisement has to be very, very creative. I keep on repeating this particular point that advertisement always have to be very, very creative and innovative in approach. So wherever and whenever you are creating a piece of advertisement, you need to be very, very cautious that it is creative and it is innovative rather, so that it can make a difference. Because if we talk about today's situation, there are a lot of people, a lot of competitors, a lot of sellers, brands and organizations, they are actually trying to penetrate the same or similar demography of the market. So if you actually want people or want your target audience or target consumers to procure your goods, you need to be very, very unique with your approach. So we will go for the first category, which is a product advertisement. So basically, the objective of this type of advertisement is to create awareness among the consumer about the qualities of the product and to build the reputation of the manufacturer's product. In practice, for successful marketing and for enhancing product image, most of the companies use a brand name. There are some examples also. So what happens is, where we talk about product advertisement, these advertisement has a very unique and identifiable buyer. I'm sorry, identifiable seller. So the brand is very prominent here. So whatever advertisement, for example, you see an advertisement of Pepsi, or you see an advertisement of a mobile company, a brand that manufacture mobile phones, it should not look like that. The brand or the organization is not visible. If that happens, then the advertisement would be a failure. So it has to be creating awareness about the brand. Sometimes there are different kinds of advertisements, as I said. Even in under product advertisement, there are different categories. Now, whenever we see an advertisement where the product or the service, rather, let us talk about product, where the product is not prominent and people cannot identify that which product is being advertised, then there's a problem, because it has to be um, an identifiable product that should be there. Now, product advertisement also aims at percolating information about the product ingredients to generate primary demand in the target market and to construct similar products launched by the competitors. The special features are highlighted to attract prospective customers. Now, what happens is, only featuring the product, only talking about the product is not enough. You also need to tell people that why they will procure your product, while they will not buy from your competitors, what special you have to offer. It can be on price ground, it can be on the extra features that you are offering and the unique features that you are offering. It can be on the quantity that compared to your competitors in the same price range, you are offering them more amount of quantity. So that can be one of the points. As I said, the price can be one of the point that you're giving the same flavor, same quantity, and same packaging, and everything is same, where you are offering the product in a slightly lesser price. Or, for example, you keep the price same and then you are giving more quantity compared to your competitors. So there can be many strategies. So we will discuss those strategies later on. But primarily, uh, these strategies, these uniqueness are being exaggerated. I would say exaggerated. These uniqueness are being displayed by advertisement. The next point, when the product is in the growth stage, the type of advertising and advertising attempts to generate a relationship with the consumer, establishing a brand image and brand name recall process. Cooperative forms of advertising may be used for benefits of marketers, wholesalers, and retailers. So whenever the product is in growth stage, it also requires a lot of push from uh, the ground of advertisement. Why? Because when the brand is growing stage, it is having a lot of potential to gain more consumer trust and gain more market share. So it is very important for advertisers to design the advertisement in a way so that people can recall the name of the brand or the presence of the brand whenever such need arises more often, right? Next point, in this method, all of them share the expenditure on advertising in their common interest. Any necessary information regarding the availability, the sources of supply, and the service offered may be communicated through the process. Now, many a times, the brand prefer to be honest with the consumer. So that is one of the tricks to tell people that, see, we are not hiding anything, we are not misleading you, we are not keeping any information secret from you. Our ingredients are not harmful. Our offerings are 100% true, even more than that. So what they do is they design the advertisement in a way that it tries to establish the faith among the people. It tries to prove that the audience or the consumers are not being mm, dished. So next, under product, there are two categories. One is direct action advertisement. So what is action advertisements? From the name itself, you can understand it is actually probing the customers to take actions. So instigates the buyers to take immediate action, and it actually compels people to take immediate action. It's not a prolonged journey that these kind of action advertisement aims at. For example, if you are mentioning like 50 to 70% discount till the stock uh, ends, so you are telling people indirectly that buy it now or lose it. So when you do that, so you can expect people that and many of the people who are actually searching for such products, but they are not planning to buy it this month, or probably they are planning to buy it next month, they would probably end up buying it because if they do not want to lose that tempting offer, then they won't actually, you know, they won't wait till the next month when they may not get such discounts. But many a times what happens is there are another discount offer, there is another offer. So people keep on consuming. The consumption keep on consumptions are being piled up one after another. Next one, introduction to the credit and system and also made direct advertising more attractive to the consumer. So I would like to elaborate on this point that economy would never be able to expand it. It will never be able to grow if they do not rely on the credit point, if they do not rely on the credit system, right? So how it affects, for example, if I have an earning of 100 rupees, I have my expenses, my own expenses, family expenses, rent and all stuff, my savings all comprising of like 80 rupees, right? All are coming under the 80 rupees. So I have 20 rupees extra, which I can spend on my own um, uh, wants, not needs. What actually, for example, I want a bag, I want a t-shirt, I want to buy a new t-shirt, I want to buy a new pair of shoes. So if I restrict myself into only 20 rupees and I will keep on telling myself that, okay, fine, I'll go for the products which only I can buy with this amount of money that I have as extra, or which amount I have allocated for this purpose, then economy would have stopped. The credit system actually compels people to go beyond the purchase which are beyond their purchasing capacity. So that's how the credit system also helps them in procuring those amounts. For example, as I said in the last example, I have 20 rupees extra I mean, with which money I can actually procure products. But at the same time, I don't, I want to buy a product which would cost me probably 500 rupees, or which would cost me 1,000 bucks. So how can I purchase with this 20 rupees? So I can go and ask somebody to lend me money, and then I'll keep on paying my EMI, which will be under 20 rupees. So what happens is uh, sometimes the credit systems are designed in that way. They have probably identified I have 20 rupees disposable money which I can spend on the things that I like. It's beyond my need and requirement, and I can spend it on my want. Uh, they scan it and they give the EMI planning in such way where probably for this 1,000 rupees ka product, I will have to pay an EMI of even 15 rupees or 16 rupees every month, and that took maybe for 5, 6, or 10 years. For a very long period, and I end up spending a lot of money. But right now, in current situation, I don't mind spending this 15 rupees to get this 1,000 rupees wala product, because I want that product that actually defines or satisfies some of my need. At the same time, I'm also saving five rupees, maybe in a long, not in a long term, but when I look at my monthly earnings, I have this 20 rupees. I'm spending 15 rupees. I'm getting 15 rupees for EMI, maybe for 7, 8 years. But at the same, I mean, this 1,000 rupees is beyond my pay grade. But at the same time, what is happening is uh, I'm also saving five rupees, which I can spend on drinks, which I can spend on going to the restaurants. I can spend on going and buying a movie ticket, right? How? Because somebody agreed to give me credit, the banks or financial institutions, and allow me to get this 1,000 rupees wala product for a 15 rupees on EMI, maybe for a very long period, but still they allowed me. So this is what is credit system, right? So action advertisement is probing customers to take the action immediately, as I mentioned. Now, what is action advertisement? Action advertisement is also an action advertisement, but it affects indirectly. In this case, advertiser is not keen on immediate action. The objective is to build the reputation of the individual brand and develop the relationship with the consumer, and then fetch for the result in the future. So this particular section of a type subsection of product advertisement actually ask consumer to buy the product, and buy the product when the time or when the need arises. So they constantly hammering people. They constantly work on the building of their brands, the building on their reputation. So they are there in the minds of the consumer. And whenever the consumer has such needs, obviously through these advertisement, the motive is to push consumer to prepone their purchase. Probably they have decided to purchase a somebody has decided to purchase a house after 5 years, but now with the advertisements and with the investment planning and everything, you cannot make people to buy. I mean, in general cases, who are actually thinking of taking a loan and going for a buying a house, you cannot make people buy that house immediately. I like, okay, fine, tomorrow come and buy this house. That's a different quotient. I mean, until unless you are a multimillionaire or billionaire. But whenever we consider the general perspective, you keep on advertising in that way, which is a form of indirect action advertisement, that you feature the details of the product for a long term and keep on hitting the consumers with your advertisements. And whenever the need arises, then they would definitely consider your brand for procuring their product. The significance of this form of the strategy of the organization viewpoint is expansion of the consumer base, generation of more loyal customers, encouraging customer selectivity approach, reduction of either promotional expense, increased scope of introduction of new product, scope of product extension, prioritization of consumer in a different period, proactive and reactive measures adopted to satisfy consumer needs. So what is it? What are the benefits? That it helps in increasing the consumer base or the customer base. Okay. Now, generation of loyal customers. It also helps in generating loyal customers. Encouraging customer selectivity approach when, for example, customers are taking time to select the product among the competitors, or for example, they are confused about selecting their products. This actually helps in make the choice for the consumer easy. So there are many other scopes we will gradually discuss. Okay, so these are a couple of examples of action advertisement. Now there are also combination of direct and indirect advertisement. So what are the combination of how can we define this combination of direct and indirect advertisement? Is that sometimes through advertisement, uh, they try to reach out both of these areas. For example, they are also probing customers to take the necessary action immediately. At the same time, they are also focusing on the brand building activities so that people stay with the brand for longer period of time. But the real motive is that they are trying for the customers who would take the decision immediately. At the same time, they are also reaching out to the customers who would also consider buying the brand in future. Now, next one is institutional advertising. So what is institutional advertising? Let us see. The form of institutional advertising is dependent on establishing an institutional identity. Now, like brand personality, organization also has a personality. They also have a trust factor. They also have a dependency factor. They also have a quality assurance factors. So there are different factors attached to a particular institution. And through advertisement, it it gets enhanced. Corporate image advertising, especially donated corporate uh, com- campaign that highlights the superiority of desirable characteristics of the advertiser. Now, institutional advertising is what basically when we do not uh, specifically focus on a particular product, rather we focus more on advertising the institution, the brand itself. For example, Tata, a symbol of trust, right? A good brand. For example, Microsoft. If you are having an advertisement on Google, or if you are having an advertisement of Microsoft, so we are not particularly focusing on Microsoft product or Google products that way. So there have been campaigns from Apple where they have highlighted the brand Apple being sustainable, and they are showing they are going out carbon neutrals, they are reducing their carbon footprints, they are making the products on turning the products into a green products, they are going for energy efficiency, they're also going for using carbon fuel, transforming from carbon fuel energy consumption to green energy consumption. So these are the factors they are attaching with the company. So what happens is all the product that comes under the umbrella of Apple, they are also being covered with these qualities as well. So this is one of the benefits of institutional advertising. This type of advertising is devoted to developing the consumer attitude relating to the organization or situation institution. Uh, the appeal are directly to create goodwill of the advertiser rather than to create demand for a particular product. The advertiser attempts to convince the buyer regarding the integrity of the organization. As I mentioned before, that this is the institutional advertisement prominently try to increase and retain the reputation of the organization. So these are a couple of institutional advertising examples. For example, promotion of public service advertisement, generating awareness about innovation and achievement and development, employees welfare schemes and development, corporate image, job opportunities, opening a debate to controversial or issues. So these are a couple of institutional advertising where they are actually trying to highlight the good things about the institution. So as we can see, there is an ad from Accenture and there is another ad from IBM. They are not advertising their particular program or particular software or the service. What they are doing is they are actually highlighting the company itself. For example, in Accenture, they have talked about one of their clients who has taken their services and expanded their business very successfully. For IBM also, they are actually talking about the good things and good service and beneficial services from their organization. Now, next one is advocacy advertisement. What is advocacy advertisement? It attempts to highlight contemporary arguments directed at the public group. Advocacy advertisement may be of the following forms: ideological advertisement, defense advertisement, reply bound advertisement, and position taking advertisement. So, advocacy advertisement is what? Let us see an example. See, defense ad, or for example, sustainability related ads where they are advocating uh, some concept, they are advocating an organization and requesting people to join their organization or follow their concept or follow their ideation, right? Now, this is one of the very crucial segment of advertising or crucial types. This comes among one of the crucial types of advertising. This is consumer advertising. Now, what is consumer advertising? Consumer advertising is an advertising that directs and intended for domestic markets such as individual and family. So, consumer advertising is basically aiming at consumers. So, we are here talking about the B2C, business to consumer, rather than B2B or business to or C2C. We are talking about mostly business to consumer, where a certain business is actually procuring some product. Sometimes they are making the product, they are giving it a final shape, and they are selling that product or service in the market. And for whom? They are selling the product or service in the market for a specific group of consumers. So consumer advertising actually talks about or covers all those consumer goods. It can be, consumer durables, it can be FMCG products, anything, right? So these all areas comes under the category of consumer advertising. Now, next one is commercial advertising. What is commercial advertising? Commercial advertising means any advertisement which has as its primary purpose the promotion of the sale of the goods and services by commercial business or enterprise to the public or generally or any significant part of thereof. Commercial advertisement means an advertisement dealing with a commercial speech with an expression that proposes a commercial transaction related solely to an economic interest of the speaker and its audience, but which is intended to influence consumer in their commercial decision, usually involves advertising products or services for sale. So, consumer advertisement, you know, means the advertisement means to make money. So advertisement means to improve the economic status of that advertiser or of that particular company whom it is advertising. So it has only one purpose. It has only one purpose, that is increasing the demand in the market and generate revenue through that increased demand. Generate extra amount of or extra income or extra revenue through that appeal. Now, social advertising. What is social advertising? Social advertising basically are the prominently seen in cases where advertising a particular product is based by banned by law. Sorry, sorry. Sorry, let us come back to social advertisement. We have moved on to the surrogate advertisement. The social advertising is what? Social advertising relies on social information or network to generate, target, or deliver marketing communication. Many current examples of social advertising use a particular internet services to collect social information, establish and maintain relationship with consumer, and for delivering communications. For example, advertising platforms provided by Google, Twitter, Facebook involves targeting and presenting ads based on relationships articulated on these same services. Social advertising can be a part of broader social media networking strategy designed to connect with consumer. The social advertising is what? Social advertising aims to connect with the consumer. So these are generally shared over social media. These are generally shared, mostly shared by the advertisers on social media, where it tries to reach out a maximum number of people or large group of people, right? This obviously internet would be the medium, and the best place would be to share the advertisements on social media like Facebook, Instagram, and so on. So social advertising is basically targeted 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 to share information on marketing communication on social media and social marketing place. Now, let us come to a very interesting section, which is a surrogate advertisement. Now, what do you mean by surrogacy? So, whenever we are talking about surrogacy, uh, which is very much linked with this type of advertisement. So, surrogacy means which is not yours, or I mean, uh, you can own it, but you are not showing the true picture, or you are not showing, you know, or you're not carrying something which is actually yours. You're not the creator of it. So surrogate advertisement, whenever we also talk about the surrogacy, um, it also reminds us a very common phrase, surrogate mother. So who's carrying something, carrying a child which is of her, but will not belong to her. So she will give this child away to somebody, or maybe the child is not entirely hers. So surrogate advertisement is that's why surrogate advertisement is very, very interesting. So when Cable Television Regulation Act in 1996 came up and instilled, and the advertisement and promotion of all the products which are injurious to health, for example, alcohol, cigarette, tobacco, any of such products, um, were banned to promote on public forum this form of surrogate advertising. So it is prominently seen in cases where advertising of a particular product is banned by law. Advertisement of products like cigarette and alcohol that are injurious to health are prohibited by law in several countries. And so Cable Television Regulation Act, which we are talking about from the Indian perspective. Prohibited by several countries, and hence these companies have to come up with several other products that might have the same brand name, and indirectly people of the cigarette or beer bottle of the same brand. Uh, some of the common brand examples are also there. I will focus on it. So as you can see, um, Bacardi music CDs. Um, I mean, there are Royal Stag, there are Imperial Blue, which keeps on advertising, or Kingfisher drinking water. So what these brands do manufacture, most of us know. They manufacture some forms of liquor. But what they are advertising something different. Some of them are advertising music CDs, some of them are advertising drinking water. They might have a section of music CD production and mineral water production, but that is not their prime section, and that is not what they are known to. Their original production, which they are famous about and which where their actual business is dependent on, is something which is something which advertisements are already banned by law. They have taken the refuge of such veil. They have taken the refuge of surrogate advertisements where they could advertise their brand. So they are not allowed to advertise alcohol. They are not allowed to advertise tobacco or any form of intoxication, which is banned by the law. But what they can do is they can showcase their logo. The moment people are seeing Bacardi logo, the moment people are seeing Royal Stag logo, the moment they are seeing Imperial Blue logo, they can actually relate these logos with the alcohol they are manufacturing. For example, some are manufacturing white rum, some are manufacturing scotch, some are manufacturing whiskeys, uh, single malt whiskeys, filtered whiskeys, and various items from alcohol section. So this is the surrogate advertisement. So what we have learned, we will quickly go through the sections. So we have gone for the product advertisement, which actually talks about the product and its features and uniqueness. Under product advertisement, there are action advertising, indirect action advertising. Direct action advertising urge people to take the decision immediately, take the step immediately. Indirect advertisement is a prolonged decision making process, and there are a mixture of indirect action and action advertisements, which actually tries to cater both short-term and long-term consumers. Then there are institutional advertisement, which actually aims to highlight the institution and their offerings. There are advocacy advertisement, which actually advocates some ideas and organizations where such and certain beliefs are being highlighted. There are customer advertising, which are actually focusing on the customer or consumer goods, be it FMCG or consumer durables and all. Then commercial advertising, which has a commercial purpose and which has the purpose of selling the products in the market and earning the revenues out of them, earning more revenues out of them. Then there are social advertising, advertising on social networking and social platforms. Surrogate advertising, which is the last section or the last type of advertisement that we study. Surrogate advertisement basically aims at advertising such products which are banned by law. So that's it. That's it for today's class. Thank you.